to enable members in the credex ecosystem to trivialize the problem of inflation. I want to share some things with you about the power of credex, the power it has to overcome specific challenges and help members transact and build wealth. And there's three main things I want to touch on today. The first is the ability to sidestep inflation. Credex gives members the ability to easily sidestep inflation. The second one is the limitless nature of credex. And the third one is its nature as a platform for innovation. And it's really this platform for innovation. It's those tools for innovation that enable credex to enable members in the credex ecosystem to trivialize the problem of inflation. Sidestepping inflation in the credex ecosystem is not a hard thing. Inflation is not really a challenge in the credex ecosystem. One of the core features that enables credex as a platform for innovation is the treatment of denominations within credex. So a credex is a promise to provide value. It's an IOU. So it could be I owe you 1,000 Canadian dollars. Or it could be I owe you 1,000 American dollars. But it could also be a formula. It could be I owe you 1,000 American dollars times a daily CPI adjustment. So in a region of moderate or what we would consider normal inflation, that could be a solution that could enable members to sidestep inflation. Now, if you're in a zone of hyperinflation, if you were in Caracas, Venezuela, in 65,000% annual inflation a few years ago, I don't think that the indexes even have any meaning. When you go to transact in an environment of hyperinflation, you have to be thinking about relative values, not numbers. You have to be thinking about how many loaves of bread is my time worth? How many loaves of bread is this item worth? Because the numbers in the currency change daily. But with credex, you don't have to care what the currency does because we can denominate in whatever we want. We can denominate in loaves of bread. We can get a bread value index. We can denominate in loaves of bread. We can isolate that to a specific city, an index of bread in Caracas, Venezuela, daily price, and we can enable members to transact in that. The second thing that I want to touch on is the limitless nature of credex. Credex enables value creation wherever there is trust between humans, wherever there's trust between counterparties. We're used to thinking that the money supply has to be managed from a technical perspective. And with credex, that just doesn't apply. Credex exists to the degree that counterparties who trust each other want to enter into value-building transactions. It exists exactly to that degree, no more and no less, because each contract is a new promise between counterparties to provide value. So there's no situations where there is a deal that could be done and we can't do it because we don't have money. Now, we all know the feeling of not having enough money to do something that we want to do. But where that really hits home is around the margins of the economy, and especially around the margins of the global economy. There can't be enough money in circulation to provide for every need, or we get hyperinflation. But there can be enough credex. Credex is limitless. So wherever there is trust between counterparties around the margins of the economy, there's an ability to transact. There's an ability to add value for each other. The only limit is trust, and it's an individual limit determined by each specific counterparty. The third thing I want to talk about is credex as a larger platform for innovation. These features that I've been digging into right now, the ability to literally trivialize the problem of inflation for members, the ability to enable transactions in places where money simply can't reach. These are just two features of an innovation platform, an innovation ecosystem that can enable counterparties all over the world to be in touch, connected with each other in the ways that make sense for them, in the specific contracts that make sense for them. And the possibilities of these contracts are vast. So I owe you 1,000 Canadian dollars. I owe you 1,000 US dollars. I owe you 4 shares of Apple stock. I owe you 1 ounce of gold. I owe you half of a Bitcoin. I owe you 50% of the revenue generated by this company. I owe you 20% of the equity owned by this company. And those kind of contracts, as well as value builds within the ecosystem, those kind of contracts will become enabled. And the value can circulate and the capital can grow in a smart contracted, transparent, auditable, very clear way where we can find the tools and the methods to grow that capital and to recirculate it through the economy, literally entirely without money. We've sidestepped it. We just don't need it. We can transact through what from an accounting perspective is almost like a quantum tunnel on your balance sheet that connects you to your counterparties. But it's an auditable quantum tunnel. You can see what's happening. It's not a black box. And so the potential for innovation here is truly vast. I'm sitting here thinking about a few initial applications of this principle, but as it's released into the wild and humans get to use it in the ways that work in their situations, incredible diversity of solutions is sure to show up. Let's see what we can do together.